How to get out of conflict in a child custody fight. Hello, I'm Dr. Deena Stacer, and I've been teaching parents how to end the conflict over child custody and child sharing issues for over 20 years. I teach classes for the San Diego Family Courts, and I've helped thousands of parents to end the conflict and protect their children with simple tools, techniques, stories, and strategies designed to help you disengage from the conflict and connect more closely with your children. In this video, I will share a little excerpt from my live San Diego co-parenting class, as well as teach you a tool that is magical, and when practiced will help you calm down, focus more effectively on your children, and your children will feel more loved by you and safer when they're with you. So let's get started on how to get out of conflict over a child custody fight. Create a big life rather than staying stuck in conflict. When you are stuck in conflict with the other parent, you are usually focusing on what you do not want rather than focusing on what you do want. You do not want to be fighting over your children. You do not want to be in court all of the time. You do not want to be in conflict over co-parenting issues with the other parent. Listen to this brief audio taken from one of my live classes. Then I will share with you a technique that will help you have a bigger life.
Okay, so it's on. Okay, A Big Life, and this is by Mary Wells Lawrence, who was the one that invented Flick Your Bic and Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco Treat. So this is a book about her life as an account executive, advertising. But there's a piece in here I want to read because I think it's really powerful for how we live. It's called All or Nothing at All. Every day I can feel the chill that slipped up my legs and down my back as I watched him disappear. My God, I thought, my heart was racing. I've lost my job. So what happened in the very beginning was that she was working for a guy. She was in charge of setting up all this travel and stuff in Europe. And then something happened, and I can't remember exactly what it was. Something happened and she pissed him off. Okay? And so this is where she was at. I've lost my job. As if I was watching a movie, I saw how young I was. Even though I had daughters, I was still fundamentally somebody else's daughter. I wasn't an adult by the long shot, and I was living like a free spirit. Everything was a game. I thought writing copy was fun and a lovely way to make a living, and I was proud to be at Doyle, Dane, Bernbach, but I wasn't a serious person. I'd never worshipped a god before or stretched to meet one's standards. I had not understood how very important Bill Bernbach and his agency were to me. I stood there staring into the years ahead of me, realizing that what I was gambling was not just a job or a career, but my life. I had the first inkling then of just how big or how small my life could be. I was getting lightheaded, so when I finally lost any sight of Bill, I went into the Ritz and sat in one of those big chairs in the long hall off the lobby. From some point so deep inside that I have no idea where came the word focus. I said to myself, focus, and I thought about it for a long time. I thought about focusing my energy and my intelligence and my desire on goals, and I left the Ritz clutching the word, that idea. It took a while, but I did learn how to focus, how to bring everything that mattered to bear on whatever I wanted to accomplish, and eliminate anything else. My ability to focus may have finally been my strongest suit. People have been known to say to me, please don't focus on me, Mary. Focus on somebody else, in recognition of the power coming from a focused person. I tell you, every young career person who will listen, learn to focus, and life will be a lot easier. So this is a fascinating book. I picked it up through the internet. I was on Amazon one day looking for something, and it was a quote about a big life because I run a thing called The Big Ask, and that led me to this. That led me to this book, and it sounded so interesting that I ordered it. I could not put it down. But that piece there was a story that I think fits with conflict. I think it fits with, focus. And we get so often into a situation where we we need to learn to focus differently than the way we're focusing, or we'll end up with the same life we're stuck in. And by changing our focus, what we're doing is we're changing where we're going with our life. So this is it's a great metaphor for the conflict, in my opinion. What do you need to focus on? She said, I was playing with my life. How many times do we get involved in the conflict situation and it's a game, right? We need to understand the game about how the other parent is difficult and we're having to figure them out, and the game about the court system, and the game about whatever it is, and then how to manage our kids. I mean, getting into being a parent, I mean, it's pretty serious once you have kids. It's like, oh, they don't go away. Oh, they're always there 24/7. Oh my gosh, I mean, it's like you step up and suddenly you're into a realm that unless you want to walk away from your children, you're in a different place from that minute on. Once that child is conceived and then that child is born, you're never the same. And hopefully it's a good life. That's what we want. And I try to get people in here to focus on who you need to be. So I'm using the word focus again. So what this gal did was she ended up becoming this real powerhouse because she understood that focus. She had that paradigm shift, which we talk about, the paradigm shift. So what is the paradigm shift that needs to happen for people to have a big life and get out of conflict? What is it?
Focus on what you do want. You want to focus on seeing your children emotionally healthy and happy. What does that look like to you? Take as much time as you need to write down or imagine in your mind your children smiling, laughing, happy, and thriving as young adults. When you focus on seeing them happy, you begin acting happy yourself. You will want to string pearls with your children by planning activities with them that help them think bigger, solve problems, and become empowered children. It is your job to stop running scared, to stop feeling like your life is out of control. You do have control. You just need to learn more tools you can implement in your life when you are with your children and when you're not with them. You decide whether you want to have an attitude that you are okay and your children are okay. What do you want? Everyone wants a big life. Stringing pearls with your children. Stringing pearls means getting into your child's imagination by planning activities or stringing activities together with your children that create a connection between you and them. Additionally, you need to understand that children do not understand time. They say, "When is it tomorrow? I can't wait until tomorrow. Is it tomorrow yet?" We use this to create magic for our children. When they go to bed at night, if they have something they are doing with you tomorrow or in the future, even if it's a little thing to you, it is a huge thing to them. Since tomorrow is forever away, they feel close to you with excitement, like making breakfast together, or planning a picnic, or decorating their room, or building a clubhouse. Parents have two fears about the children when involved in a custody dispute. The first fear is that the children will be messed up by the breakup, the other parent, or the divorce. The second fear is that they will lose the love of their children, either because of the time they lose when they aren't with them, or because the other parent may be trying to make them hate them. When you begin to string pearls with your children, you begin to feel closer and closer to your children, and they respond back to you with so much joy and love and excitement. You find it easier to disengage from the other parent, and you feel better. You win, and your children win, and you stop being afraid. You are most likely doing things with your children now, but I want you to do them with a magical strategy in mind, by planning things with them in advance. Because they don't get time, planning to make breakfast together in advance makes them get very excited, experiencing positive anticipation about this or other events in the future. We all need to have something to look forward to doing because we're actually wired for negative anticipation. By planning in advance for activities with your children, they will begin to feel closer to you and you will feel closer to them. You are also teaching them how to generate positive anticipation for their own future. You are coaching your children on how to become responsible because you're planning an activity, you are teaching them how to solve problems, use resources, develop patience, and be respectful. All of these activities help your child to become smart, conscientious, and a resourceful adult. This calms you down too. You will begin to reduce your fears about your children turning out okay when you string pearls with your children. Your children need you to be focused on them. If you are focused on what you do not want, you're focused on fear, anger, frustration, and are so distracted by the other parent that you're not emotionally present for your children. When you begin to string pearls with your children, however, you become rewarded by your children because they respond to you with so much excitement, happiness, and love, and it becomes easier to disengage from the fight. When they share their love with you about making breakfast, building a clubhouse, planning a picnic, etc., you realize you have two choices. The first choice is to stay focused on the fight with the other parent, or you can disengage from the craziness and focus on paying attention to your children and creating things to look forward to together. Which one brings a bigger life? Making breakfast with your children requires that you say to your children in advance, okay, so we're going to make breakfast together next time we are together. What kind of eggs do you want to make? I will teach you how to make them and we will do this together. One father asked his 8-year-old son, what kind of eggs do you want to make? And he said, hard-boiled eggs. He was so excited for 2 weeks about making eggs for breakfast. On the day before they were to make breakfast, the boy asked his father, well, what else can we have for breakfast? The father said, well, what do you want to make? And he said, bacon and toast. They went to the store for ingredients the day before. The son was so excited he couldn't get to sleep the night before. You may have already invited your children to cook with you, but when you set it up in advance and ask your children to help plan a meal, help you write the grocery list, go to the store and buy ingredients, and actually do it over a period of a couple days or longer, you are developing that excitement in their minds that is magical. When your children respond with excitement and they tell you how wonderful it is to be with you, you learn how easy it is to string pearls with them, and you keep doing it over and over again. This is how you disengage from the conflict and create a bigger life. To learn more about stringing pearls with your children, to reduce the conflict with the other parent, and to make sure you help your children grow up emotionally healthy, take my online co-parenting high conflict intervention class by going to www.parentsinconflict.com. Take a 12-hour course or a 50-hour course. The more conflict you have, the more information and tools you need to end the conflict and protect your children. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at doc@deenastacer.com or call me at 800-980-0434. I am Dr. Deena. I will help you end your conflict over child custody issues and save your children so they turn out emotionally healthy.